We have a full agenda, guys. I'm excited. Thank you guys for all that joined the call earlier today, that spontaneous Q&A that I did just because I felt led to open up the call for people to ask their questions. Um, so typically when we do these live calls, we are not doing Q&A at this particular portion of it because we have so much we have to cover. But if you have questions, you can put them in the chat. Like for today, the topic is credits, and it says Recoupers Live Q&A 12/14/2024. You'll see that folder. That's where we're going to be putting all of our questions there for those that are on this open live call right now. The leadership team is here, and we're here to help and support and to help give you guys some guidance and just be here for you. We appreciate you all being here, and thank you for joining. We want us all to win. We have 3,925 members since September 1st, and I'm so excited and so proud of what Jeremy has created for us. So I'm just grateful to be here as well. And I just want to thank each one of you guys for coming and joining. So if you have questions, make sure you put it in the chat. You will not unmute your mic at all. Only the leaders will be talking on the call. And you can put your questions and answers there. And Tom and I at the end will go over those questions. So we're going to jump right into our agenda. So that was item number 1. I just did the intro. We talked a little bit of housekeeping, a little instruction. And now we're going to have Jeremy come up and say, give his portion of the agenda. Jeremy? Welcome.
Hey, how's it going, Dr. Heather? Hey, I appreciate your due diligence and working this group. It's you're taking it to a whole new level that I just couldn't do it. And with you stepping in, and I've got Kimmery and Kevin and Christine and several others that are helping. Y'all are doing an amazing job. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all are the bosses. I mean, y'all just kind of take it from here, and I kind of sit back in an advisory role. So just letting folks know that. These admins, they're the ones that's going to be calling the shots. They're the ones that's going to be running recoupers. They're gonna turn it into what they envision it. We've all agreed, let the leadership take and do what they need to. So I greatly appreciate y'all doing this. These open mics that we're doing on recoupers, it needed to happen. And following up from the lives that we all do, it's an amazing thing that's taking place. And I wish I could sit in my seat and just see it. It's a dream come true for me, and I've got a lot of dreams, so I'm a dreamer. Yeah. So just telling y'all, I appreciate it. Thank all the people for participating in Recoupers. It's growing really fast, and it's got really good, solid information, and that could have only been accomplished with the people that have participated in this. So from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, and we're going to change a lot of lives through this.
Thank you. We appreciate you. We love you too. Okay, Marie, can you want to open us up with prayer and gratitude so we can open the floor for that? Marie, can you hear us?
I've got a little delay on my internet. Is Kevin around? Someone have the Lord's Prayer they could start with? I got a little delay right now on my laptop.
I can pull it up. No, I have it. So I'll do it. No problem. So let's start with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory, forever and ever, all and equal. Amen. Love, love, love.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Amen, y'all. Awesome. All right. Thank you for that. So this is also the moment for gratitude. So this is the moment where if you have a gratitude, if you have a quick testimony you want to share, this is not question and answers. This is the moment where I will allow you to unmute your mic and give some gratitude and just get the energy going for this call and just share some love, appreciation, all of that. If you want to do that, I want you to go into the chat. You know what? Now we're going to do that. Just unmute your mic. Let's see if we can be orderly and do it. And if I need to do it a different way, I will. But open up your mic if you want to give gratitude and love for what we're doing on this call, what we're doing in this group, and what we're doing in each other's lives. Now, I want you guys to come in and just really realize how much we appreciate you as well. So come on, talk to me. Unmute your mic. Give some gratitude and some love. Anybody?
I'm gonna break the ice.
Go ahead.
Hey everybody. I was gifted a very nice gift, and I live pretty rough, so I've been able to go stay at a hotel for several days and have high stream internet. Woohoo! I love high stream internet, and I've been able to do things that are very difficult for me to do in my living, environment. And I've been able to schedule some appointments with some bankers. I've got 2 appointments next week to get everything done that I need to get done. I'm so excited for everything that's happening right now with all of these breakthroughs. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. It's coming. It's here. It's here right now. And I am totally excited about everything that's going on. I love all y'all.
Oh my God. Thank you. That was amazing, Pam. Thank you so much, honey. We are so happy for you. We love you and we appreciate your testimony. And I'm so grateful that things are moving forward in your life and everything you have going on. So I'm so glad that somebody blessed you in order to give you some runway and to do what you need to do and some resources. So that's a blessing. I totally understand. And I appreciate you as well for sharing space with us today. Anybody else want to unmute their mic and give us some gratitude? Because that's amazing. We're getting fired up, y'all. Come on. Let's go. Unmute your mic. Gratitude. This is our gratitude moment.
This is Eric John, and I want to express gratitude for solutions coming in the future. Thank you.
Love. Awesome. Thank you for that. Gratitude. It's already here, y'all. Do y'all understand? The energy is so high. I'm so grateful. I can hardly contain myself how happy I am because I can feel it. I literally can feel how things are moving. Anybody else? And then I'm
just a housekeeping piece, Heather. There are some people that are having a rough time getting on to the live chat.
Okay. I don't know what the link is been posted. Go ahead, D. What were you going to say, honey?
Just the mic check. Greetings, everyone.
Greetings. Okay.
Hey, this is Brian. Just make sure my mic is working.
Yep, all good. All right, guys, let's jump into our agenda because we have a robust agenda today. And so the next thing we're going to do is going to have Kevin. Kevin, you're up. 1522 debrief. Give us some from last week till now. The mic is yours.
Oh man, wow. I can't possibly give an entire dissertation upon that unless we were to waste a lot of time. So I'm going to give you the Cliff's Notes version, everyone. So, last Thursday, things started to really come to the forefront. And I was called by somebody who shall remain nameless, just for privacy's sake, because I'm in a lot of very small, what I would call very advanced groups. Okay. And he says to jump on a Zoom. I sent you a Zoom link in Telegram. You need to get over there. So I get into that group, and somebody literally is in the middle of a dissertation on the 1522, which I found very interesting because, I just talked about it in Kim Marie's group on Friday and then did the live here last week on Friday. It's just wild that he happened to be talking about the 1522. Now this person went really in depth with everything that we're talking about here. And we have to realize that what we consider are all finance groups, like whether you're paying on a credit card or car note or your mortgage or whatever, they all have to have the same language in their customer service agreements, right? Telling you the correct way to pay. Since there is no money and only credit, they have to tell you the correct way to pay. And what piqued my interest there was the fact that in that agreement, it says you can only pay your bill with interest. So the statement that you're getting is showing the interest that you have due, right? And that interest is how you pay. Now, in this further breakdown, he goes into the depth of what the document itself is. That statement that has a coupon attached to it is actually A, a check. This is according to the service agreement. B, a negotiable instrument. C, a bill of exchange. D, a bond. It still has the coupon attached. See, what they want you to do, these finance companies, is they want you to deface the bond, right? I mean, think about the devious nature of that document. At the bottom, it's got a coupon, it's got a perforation, it says cut here, it's got the little scissors. Think about it. They want you to deface the bond, and what they want you to do as a good little slave, they want you to send in payment, like in the form of a check or a money order or whatever, and they want you to send that coupon along with it. Because in their customer service agreement, it says that it's a negotiable instrument or a bill of exchange, and they turn right around and they endorse that coupon, if it's separated from the document, to make it into a bill of exchange. So they get paid twice on that little tete-a-tete exchange there, which is very devious in its nature, right? But now we know what we're up against. We know what we're seeing here. And during this presentation, he's literally going back and forth, interjecting his own questions that he has. And when he has a question, he's then taking the whole customer agreement and putting it in an AI bot like ChatGPT. He's having the Chat AI bot, just for instance, ChatGPT, once he's given it the original documentation and the supporting documentation by putting in the code, US codes and everything like that. And ChatGPT is giving him an answer that clarifies the situation. And ChatGPT and everything else that he's come to the surmise of is the fact that the statement with the coupon attached, fully intact, is a bond, is a bond, is a bond. And what does the 1522 form do? It calls your bond and cashes it in. Now, I came across some other information that he started to talk about, because he went really in depth about how, every governmental organization uses a software that when they receive a document, whether it looks like a bill of exchange, whether it looks like a check on its surface or not, the actual software reads the document to discern what it is. A check could simply be a keyword that's anywhere on the document that automatically makes their software read it as a check or a bond or a bill of exchange. Any of the above, their software is built to read it and decipher it. So that's why I'm putting everything intact. Another thing that and I posed the question. I said, "Listen, man, I've got all these quote unquote statements for my credit card, and I don't know what the bond serial number is. I don't know the date of issuance with any certainty. So should it be that I just in the first box of the 1522, see attached, because it says in the instructions that you can attach any documentation for your proof of claim, right? And he goes, that's exactly what I would suggest to do. Say, see attached, give them all the bonds fully intact. And he went further to say a letter of instruction. And I can verify this from my experience in the finance world, right? I was a senior vice president financial consultant with TD Ameritrade and Schwab, and this happened all the time. I'd go up when the branch opens, go up to my secretary at the front of the branch and say, hey, can I have my mail? And in that mail would be 2, 3, 4 envelopes, whatever. And each one of them typically had a check in it. And with that check was a letter of instruction stating, hey, Kevin, I just made this deposit, $275,000. It needs to go this amount in this account, this amount in this account, this amount in this account. So I would proceed to break down that deposit, take it back up to my secretary to have her run the deposit, with the check scan. And in that software, she can delineate the amount that goes to the account. Anybody have any idea what would have happened had I not followed through with that letter? Anyone?
Would they have made a blank endorsement for themselves rather than a special endorsement spelled with an I?
Well, what would have happened to me if
You would have got fired.
That's right.
Breach of fiduciary duties.
And not only that, I would have been subject to SEC fines, FINRA fines, and everything else because I didn't do my fiduciary obligation. So any company that's in the finance world, if they receive a letter of instruction or letter of advice, either one, if you don't follow that letter of instruction or letter of advice, you have liability because we're the fiduciary. We're the ones that are overseeing the account. We're the trustee. We have the liability. We are all subject to the instructions that we get from the account owner, right? So you're the account owner on any of these particular accounts that you're looking to get reimbursed for the bonds, are you not? Right? You are the originator of the credit as the grantor, right? So as the grantor, which is the highest position to any trust, you let the trustees know, hey, I've enclosed this amount of bonds. Please call them, get them adjudicated, settle the matter, and send the deposit to such and such and such account, which is on the form, right? Well, after this call was over, I really started to discern things very, very, very quickly, and I started getting some downloads. Kim Marie and I have this special gift that's been given to us by God where we'll get a flashcard. It's like a picture that appears right in front of your eyes, but it happens in your brain, and you can actually see it, right? So when this happened, in the freezer, sorry. So when this, I got interrupted. I'm sorry. So when this flashcard comes, it is, mute your mic, please. When the flashcard comes, it's a picture of me looking at my screen on Free Tax USA when Kim Marie were doing my taxes this January, way back at the beginning of the year for 2023. And it was the final screen. If you guys remember that final screen, it's your payment choice of where you want your return routed to. It could be your bank, you could get it in a check, or it could be to a green dot card that's issued to you by the Treasury. And since I had the experience of a successful experience of obtaining a $442,000 state tax return last year that I didn't get out of the account fast enough. I didn't know then, but I do know that now, that if you get a tax return that's a trust return, they expect it to be dispersed to the beneficiaries within 6 weeks, because a bank cannot hold a credit asset. It is not an asset to them. It is a detriment. It goes on the negative side of their books because they cannot create credit, right? So it is not an asset. And of course, the rest of the remaining funds, everything that I had not sent either by wire or by a cashier's check, because that cashier's check is guaranteed by the bank, gold hint nugget. Every single one of those things that I had done was absolutely fine because it comes from the bank's side, their full ledger. They guarantee the payment, right? So anything that I did with that, I had no problems with it. But they did abscond with the remaining balance since I did not distribute the funds to the beneficiaries within the 6-week time period. Okay. So on that screen that I got to download from, I see where I clicked the green dot card. I had that green dot card in 5 days. They sent that sucker to me so fast, my head, I couldn't believe my eyes when I opened up the mail and saw that the green dot card had already arrived. But naturally, every single one of my tax returns right now, oh, we need another 60 days. Oh, we need another 60 days. Oh, we need another 60 days. Blah, 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 blah. Well, what comes along with that little green dot card when you log in and get into the account is a routing number and account number. What do we need a routing number and account number for on the 1522 form? Oh, that's where we want to receive our payment now, isn't it? That's right. And I don't have to involve a bank, the enemy, because it was a card issued to me directly from the Treasury that they can load onto. That's a mic drop moment, kids. There's other cards that the Treasury issues, and I would suggest you all start researching what cards that the government Treasury provides. Because if I can do all my banking directly through the Treasury via that card, because it is a quote unquote Visa credit card that I can use for all transactions, I think that I like that option a little better than any other I may have. Because with that bank number and routing number, account number and routing number, I can send funds wherever I need to, just like any other bank. Right? Now, let's talk about credits. Because that same day, and Christine, I'm not going to steal any of your thunder, she's going to tell everybody what happened that day. She sent me a beautiful little screenshot of something that happened. And I can expound on that when she's talking, because there are bigger things afoot here. Let's say, and this is probably happened to all of us on this call, who's gotten what we would consider a nasty gram from the IRS. We've given you a frivolous filing, and I'm fining you $50,000 for a frivolous filing. But that sheet of paper has a coupon at the bottom of it for payment. Based upon what I've just told you all, does anybody know what that document is? Since it has a coupon, hint, 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 wink, 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 nudge, 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 at the bottom of it. Does anybody know what that is? It's a bond, right, Millie? It's a bond. It's a bearer bond. You have it in your possession. Well, given that information, if we know it's a bond, what might we do next?
Redeem it. On a 1522?
Put it on
Put it on a
22. 22.
15. That's right. Put it on. You guys are learning quick. I love it. Put it on a 1522. Submit the bond. I'm calling the bond as the grantor. Send me the payment. And I know a lot of folks that, got the message from the general who said, you have a uniform tax credit every year that you are allowed by law to recoup. For 2023, it happened to be $12.092 million, right? And knowing what we know about the ES payments and the vouchers, I know many people who just, pushed their chips in the middle of the pot and said, I'm all in. And I'm going to go ahead and give you ESs and Vs for that full amount and recoup it on a 1041 or a 1040 tax return. Well, I had a phone call the next day on the Friday night, and it's one of my, what I would consider a great friend. And he had some folks, a husband and wife team, do this very thing. And he called me, like he was upset. Kevin, man, listen, the MacArthurs just got a notification, each one of them from the IRS, that they now owe $10 million as a fee and fine. I said, does there happen to be a payment coupon at the bottom of that sheet so they can pay it? He had the couple right there with him. Yeah, there's a coupon at the bottom. It says use for payments. Oh, it does it? Then what's the problem? You've got a $10 million bearer bond in your hand. 1522 much? So don't freak out, people, when you get a nasty gram from the IRS, because it's not. It's remedy and relief. Any amount or bill that they say you owe is owed by the United States.
It's not an Instagram, it's a love note.
It's a love letter. Here, we love you so much. Thank you for your submission. Here's your remedy and relief, kids. And that's why I have t-shirts that say I heart IRS. And on the back of that t-shirt, it has all the forms that one might need to get relief and remedy on it. I wore that, and Josh can attest to this. We went and did a little field trip to our local TAS office, Tax Advocate Services office, because the big payment hub is right here in Kansas City. By the way, that's some more intel. Just got a communication that states your information was forwarded to the Kansas City Federal Reserve Bank. They're actually sending out as an agent for the IRS payment instructions to the Federal Reserve Bank here in Kansas City. That's an interesting little side note. I went into the Tax Advocate Services office and I literally had $40 million worth of bills of exchange in my bag. Because if you read the Internal Revenue Manual, people, read for your freedom. We need to make a song. Read for your freedom. In the IRM, it says that the Tax Advocate Services Office is a depository, meaning that they can take financial instruments to send to the Treasury for you. Well, I had read that little tidbit before I went on our beautiful little field trip to the Tax Advocate Services Office. So I had them with me. And this is just a side note, but I had taken every presentment that fake, false, fraudulent fucking court has put on my head, and I made them all into bills of exchange. I made them into, hold on a second. I think I'm having technical difficulties here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
That's
Clear.
Okay.
Can hear you.
Clear.
Okay, thank you. So I made all of those summonses because the bottom looks like a check mysteriously. I made them all into bills of exchange and I sent them as a receipt to the Treasury as a safekeeping receipt for me. I did 1099As on all the case numbers because I'm acquiring them. So I go into the tax advocate services office just really to clarify some things because they needed to know that I was alive. They needed to verify uh, uh, my identity in person. Well, way back last January, I had sent in a document for the Internal Revenue Service to change the status of my estate EIN. And they actually have a process that's very similar to Holly's process about the non-decedent letter. So I sent them a non-decedent letter to change my status permanently in their system to have my estate become a living estate. And by gosh, I let that guy know, who I was sitting in front of, that, hey, I want to make sure that the IRS has received a letter that I sent back in January changing my status on the master file to a non-decedent, a living estate. He clicks some buttons, goes through the pages, and looks me right in the eye and says, yes, I can confirm that we have received it and it is changed in the master file. I was sitting in front of him absolutely deadpanned, but inside I was I was hanging from chandelier to chandelier. And then he proceeds to tell me, some of these accounts like yours get flagged by our criminal investigation division. And he looks over his shoulder and he says, they're right behind that door. Well, I happen to be wearing my I Heart IRS t-shirt that day when I went in to visit with this gentleman. And before I got called, I went back to the restroom to get rid of some coffee. And two guys were coming out of the back room of that office and said, hey man, we saw your shirt on the on the security feed back in the bullpen. We just wanted to say how much we love your shirts. And I thanked them for their service and said, yeah, no problem. I'm selling them if you want one. They both chuckled and off they went back into the back room. Well, of course, this dipshit that was sitting in front of me was trying to intimidate me by telling me that the CID division was right behind that door. And I leaned forward and leaned on the desk and I looked him right in the eye. I said, well, if the CID wanted anything to do with me, don't you think they'd be sitting in my lap right now? So I then say, listen, I'd like to take care of some other business while I'm here. I've got $40 million worth of bills of exchange that I'm going to deposit here in your office. And he says, we don't do that here. We can't do that here. And I pulled up the IRM on my phone right to the section that states that they're a depository. Oh, I says it right here. It says in your own manual that you accept bills of exchange right here at your office, and you're supposed to send them to this address at the Treasury Office of Executive Secretary, room 3413. Find that address, people. I said, it says right here where I should send them. He goes, well, we don't do that here. So if you've got them and you've got that address, why don't you just go ahead and send them yourself, sir? And I said, thank you, I will, which I did. So when you get, I guess the lesson of the story is, folks, that when you get a nasty gram, it's really a love letter. They want you to think it's a nasty gram, but what they're doing is they're giving you remedy and relief from this slog. And now we have the 1522 form that you can utilize for that. And I'm going to expand on a couple of things also that we know are bonds later on when Christine comes up to the mic. But I hope you're getting the picture here that things have changed. Now, I'm going to come on camera for just a second because there's another thing I need to cover, and then I'll yield the floor. Hold on. I've got two monitors here, so let me get you in focus. So on the 1522, I was taking the painstaking time because I wanted to do my Discover credit card bill, because Lord knows I've probably spent 80 grand on that son of a bitch over the last couple years, at least. So I was painstakingly putting all those numbers that fall below the Micker line on that. And on that first call that night, as the guy was giving the presentation on the 1522, I came to the surmise that, hey, we I don't know the number. I don't know the issue date. I don't know this shit. So what I've determined is that I'm leaving this blank. I'm putting in the first box, C attached. This is for show and tell.
If you're showing us something, we don't see it.
Look at your camera. So what I'm doing is, I'm putting together a letter of instruction saying, see attached. Here's all my bonds. Pay me. It's that simple. I'm not writing anything in those boxes because, frankly, I don't know the serial number. Their security, their reading system, their intel, their apparatus will read that document and know exactly what it is, serial number, all that shit. Let them do the trustee work.
I still can't see the form. It's just
That's that. It's the
15 form. It's a regular form. Just showing you that.
It's the 1522.
And guys, don't unmute your mic when you're talking. Type in the chat if you have a question or a comment, please. Thank you.
Leave it blank and say see attached. Include your letter of instruction with all your bonds. It's that simple. And I'm going to yield. Any questions? Type them in the chat. Thank you for your time. Next up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
We appreciate the 1522 update and giving us some background and some things that you've already you're working on. And we're grateful for you always coming back and giving us more information. So I appreciate you, Kevin. Kim Marie, are you ready to talk about ESNV debrief?
How am I coming through, Dr. Heather?
You're good. You sound good.
Okay, great. So debrief. Hopefully by now everyone's picked up on the ES and the V created a bond and an obligation of the all caps United States that is due back to the person who assigned the credit to the blue card person.
okay, Eric.
So
mute your mic.
I'm sorry.
Yep. So happy to answer any not somehow been answered in the ES&P, but knowing you have the tracking number on your transcripts, you can attach that with your copies, and all of your copies that you've scanned in or made are actually attached. So when you scan in your 4 ES payments and you scan in your voucher for your bookkeeping, you already have a beautiful original copy of the bonds. And then they get to cut them themselves. So it really should start to become very easy, right? We really need to just sort of come out of either or, this or that, right or wrong, you or me, and start coming from, go ahead and put your rose-colored glasses on, it's safe. Go ahead and look from the position of what an 8-year-old or a 12-year-old or a 17-year-old who just got let out of the gate, all and more, both and more. Everything's a love letter. It all belongs back to the blue card person. So I'm happy to grab a few questions while Christine's getting ready of anyone who needs any more confirmation about that. But I'm telling you, they're making it easier and easier for us, y'all. So with that,
do you want people to open up their mic and ask your questions? I'm directing them to the chat and I don't see anything about E's and B's in there. Or how do you want to do this section of your time? Tell me.
Well, I think, let me just put a fine point on it because they're really
you're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up, Kimmery.
Everything is yep.
Wait, hold on, you're breaking up.
Two, three.
Okay, are you there?
Yeah,
I'm ready when you are.
Christine, can you hear it? Is it clear for you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. Okay, well we'll come back to Kimmery, and then you can go ahead and go.
Yeah, she doesn't have any bars out here on our internet, so it's in and out.
Well,
good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Glad to have you. Good morning. I am the one that's in the background, silent, and doing the researching and testing. Exactly a year ago, I decided to do a CP575. I took the CP575, cut it off from the letter, did not write a single thing on the CP575, not one thing, just left it as it was. Did a 1099A with the EIN that I was using on top, first box. Second box was my social security person. And I did it for the 99, whatever that number is. And I did a 1099 OID. I did the 1040V. I did a 56 and a 2848 because I was setting up the EIN to be able to use when I wanted to use it. And then I mailed it all off. And this is all on paper. 2 weeks ago, I looked at my transcripts and the 1099A is on my transcripts. So my social security person has 99 whatever credits sitting on my transcript. So that's how that's done. And it's another way for people to get credits if they decide they want to choose that way. But mind you, it's a long process. It took a year for mine to show up. So it's not fast and it's not easy. You just got to, give it time to go through the system. But it does work if anyone wants to try it.
Can you put the 1099A on a 1522 now?
Yes, you can. You can put that 1099A on the 1522.
Let's clarify. Let's clarify that just real quick. Okay. So they send you a CP575. What does it have at the bottom of it?
The bond. That bond is the signature. Yeah, a coupon.
That whole page, that whole entire page is a bond.
Yep. It sure is. It's actually your signature exchange for your social security person because you had to give your signature in order to get the CP575. Yep. So that's basically 1099B. another thought. I have these thoughts when I'm talking things out. So, and that is an interesting development because I remember back 2 years ago when everyone was doing the 1099As for the Jarretts. I don't recall, or if anyone else knows, anybody having one show up on their transcript. I didn't. Mine didn't show up either. So what was different between this time and that time? Could it have been the 1099 OID? Maybe. I don't know. But I'm thinking it was because it was issuing the bond, and then the 1099A, you're acquiring the credits from that bond. So then you issued the bond and then you acquired the credits. Now it's on the transcript and with a tracking number.
Not only that, Christine, since you applied, let's go back to the beginning of the transaction, since you applied for that EIN with the SOCH number, where do you think they pulled the credits from, people?
Right. Exactly.
Yep. They already pulled the credits. All you got to do is bring them down. Why do you think President Donald John Trump has more than 1,500 EINs? Because he knows that each one of them is a bond and a credit line worth 100 mil.
Yep.
You getting it, people?
Oh, and when we were having that conversation the other day in chat, Kevin, that conversation we were having where we discovered that they.
Oh yeah, Christine and I went down a beautiful rabbit hole with a whole bunch of information. Please, yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can. Hopefully, I don't lock myself out of this. Hold on. I'm going to bring up that conversation. Hold on. Okay. Some things we discovered were they've changed some language in their wording here. Let's see, where do I want to go? Okay, this is the first one I'm going to start with. Bureau of the Fiscal Service, formerly Bureau of Public Debt, an agency within the Treasury Department whose responsibilities include donations to reduce the public debt and control of Treasury estate bonds. There's your birth certificates, people. The Bureau of Public Debt has merged with the Financial Management Service and is now the Bureau of Fiscal Service. And I think they just admitted they have our birth certificates there.
Yep.
Endorsement. The authorized name of payee on the back of a remittance needed to obtain the cash or credit represented on the front. Each check deposited must show the IRS endorsement, date of deposit, and legend, and must contain the same, I think it's a document locator number and depositor address as shown on some deposit ticket. Flower bond terminology, occasionally associated with certain treasury bonds, redeemable for estate taxes. A freeze code places a taxpayer's account in a condition which requires additional action before the account can be settled. So a freeze code is not a bad thing. Perfect documents and returns with legible taxpayer name, taxpayer identification number, one master file tax code, one or multiple tax periods, and one remittance. That is what a perfect return is. Deposit items not processed through the ISRP. Deposit items that are not processed through the ISRP must be processed following the regular manual processing procedures for each document, return type. Below is a list of deposit items that are processed as manual items. Bonds, Form 1040 ES payments received for a future calendar year. Deposit procedures. This was just changed in 2022. Deposit procedures. All checks, drafts, and money orders payable at par through normal banking channels are processed through the campus's deposit activity. Any remittance that can be perfected to negotiability should be deposited if less than $100 million. All items will be deposited either through ISRP, IDRS, or manual processing. Remittances received in the campuses will be deposited into one of the 5 types of funds: revenue receipts, deposit fund, general fund, sorry about that, repayments to appropriations, and other receipts fund. Remittances received and deposited into the deposit fund will consist of the following items: payments tendered as offers in compromise. Other payments may be deposited to this account when required by specific instructions, letter of instruction. Remittance perfection. Types of possible remittances the IRS campuses
You're breaking up a little bit,
may
Christine.
receive for processing can include any of the following: personal check, money. Okay. Cashier's check, clerk's function, or I'm sorry, cash clerk's function, business check, certified check, voucher check, treasury check, draft, postcard type check, gold coins. Keep remittance, okay. Keep the remittance with source document. Do not staple together. Prior to processing, remove check stubs and any staples attached. So keep your remittance with the source document. If payee is IRS only, cash or blank, stamp United States Treasury on payee line. Stamp they have a stamp, but it may be used on the payee line if the stamp is small enough as not to cover any other information on the check. An acceptable remittance. Acceptable remittance is defined as any means of documentation of legal tender and payment. The documentation must contain all valid information shown below to process the payment through the bank. Payee money amount written or numerical, bank routing number, check account number. If the bank routing number needs to be perfected, research the ABA Key to Routing Numbers handbook published by the American Banker Association. If other remittance acceptance circumstances arise, contact the campus deposit headquarter analysis. If the routing number or account number has been torn off or is unreadable and cannot be perfected, utilizing bank routing books, the check should be treated as a mutilated check and processed according to the procedures. Bill of exchange. The bill of exchange or registered bill of exchange is received from a taxpayer authorizing the campus to settle their account through Fedwire. Send everything to Department of the Treasury, Office of Executive Secretary. So some of the language is changing. They're getting the message. It's probably slow, but they're getting it. But just wanted to read that out to reiterate that voucher checks, 1040V, 1041, they accept those as a remittance. And they can accept the negotiable instruments without the maker line because they have to do it manually, but they can still do it. I just wanted to reiterate those points because I see that question a lot.
Can you tell us what part of the IRM you were just reading, or put it in the chat so people can reference it and read it for themselves?
Sure can.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I think that's all I have unless anybody has a question.
Okay, with the CP 575, I'm going back to the chat where people were asking for the $99 million that they gave you the credit for. Was it a positive or negative number on your transcript?
It's just in the wage and income part of my transcript right now because I need to identify the credit in order for it to be shown on that side of it. So I have to identify it in order to move it.
You need to identify it. You give a little bit more more clarification when you say identify it so people can understand it.
Yeah, I did. Well, that's the only part. I haven't gone any further than this part yet, but it's on my wage and income part of it. I have to identify that I've accepted or acquired the credits. They are on my transcript under the wage and income. So now I have to identify those credits in order to pull them down. And haven't got past this point yet. So that's as far as I'm going to go as far as, theorizing how I'm going to pull it down. I haven't got that far yet. But I just wanted to let people know that the 1099-A to acquire the CP575 works, and it will show up. It might take a while, but it will show up. And when we get to that other part of being able to draw it down, then we'll get further into detail. But I just, wanted to let you guys know that it does work. So
I think the beautiful thing about all these different options and processes that we know that it's going to take some time. So for example, if you sent in your ES and Bs and you're just waiting for that to kind of season and marinate in the background and get to your transcript, you can focus on doing your CP 575, endorse that, send that in, because that's going to take time too. So there are different things that we can constantly be doing to fill our cookie jar and to make sure that we have stuff credits that are coming forward. So one may post before the other, but at least after we understand and comprehend what process that you're focusing on, go ahead and execute. What I wanted to reiterate this morning's spontaneous live was that I understand you may feel hesitation or you're looking for more of a concrete answer. The concrete answer is based on your execution, based on you doing, and that answer will come to you for you in your particular situation. We're all doing these processes and we're learning and we're growing and we're thriving, but we're also willing to come and give support and to share our testimony of what Christina just did. She just told us it took a year for her to get $99 million. What? You know how long it takes for to gain access to $99 million? That's not a lightweight thing. So that's amazing. She's just sharing her journey with you. She's sharing her process with you. So don't flood her DMs asking her exactly what she did and all of that. She's telling you right now on this call. She sent in an A. She sent in her CP 575. She didn't endorse it. She didn't do any of those things. That was her process that she decided to do. And it took a year to show up on her transcript. Now it's showing up under her wage and investments for $99 million. And the next step she's going to do is to study and figure out how to pull it down. That is the nuts and bolts of what she just said. So there shouldn't be a million questions about the CP 575 and what Christine just did, because that's all she did. There's no hidden. She's not holding anything back. Is that fair? Is that clear?
May I testify to that?
Absolutely.
So Christine, agree 100% because I submitted a BOE to the Treasury probably a year and a half to 2 years ago. It showed up on my transcript as a negative, so it sat there as a refund, but I didn't know how to recover it so they would actually send it, so it disappeared. But it does work. We need to figure out how to get them. What part is missing?
How long was the transcript before it disappeared?
It was, well, that's a good question. It was probably there for, I would say, close to 2 or 3 months. So probably within that time frame of the 45 days.
Okay. Was somebody gonna, Christine, were you gonna say something? I'm sorry.
When they remove your credits from the transcript, they just moved them to the unidentified remittance file. So you might want to go back in and identify those credits with whichever type of 1099 form you want to use to identify those credits. Do an A, maybe. Claim that BOE.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Unidentified. Gotcha.
So that's what she's saying. She hasn't identified hers yet, and you didn't do it. Hers just showed up. So she's more recent. Yours was sitting there for 90 days because you didn't know what to do. And they decided to move it off of the visibility of the books. That doesn't mean that it's gone. So now you got to do your due diligence and research and figure out, where did the money go? Is it back in your non-mastery file now? Is it like, where did they put it?
Very good. Okay. All right. Well, we're all learning.
Yeah, we are.
Love
Yeah,
all of you.
It could be 9 billion. I could have said it wrong. I said 99 million. I don't know. All them nines kind of like, what? It's a lot of money.
No,
What I know.
specifically, just look at on the CP 575 and just put a dot between the last two 99s, and that comes up to $99,999,999.99, because the Treasury cannot stroke a check for more than $100 million.
There you go.
That is their rule.
There you go. That answers that. That clarifies that.
I think if we're having a hard time counting the nines, it's plenty.
Yeah.
So if they can't, what if you get one for more than that? What if you do?
It's enough to change your spending habits. You're not going to get a check for more than $100 million.
No, how would you draw on it if you did? Would you be able to draw on it in pieces?
Carry it over to the next year.
I guess so. Maybe do the
and guess what? It's going to be earning. It's going to be earning interest the whole time.
Right. Oh my God. Okay, I guess it would. I know at 50 million, that's $4 million a year on interest. I figured that out. There's got to be a ways that different types of accounts that this could go into that would make that draw easier. I wonder, and I know that if a sole prop, if it's in a revocable trust, you're able to do a 1041, so you're not kissing the boots of the English with a 1040. Something to think about.
Okay, guys, I don't want you guys just to unmute your mic and start talking. That we have almost 200 people on this call, and we can't afford to have traffic jam going on. So if you have a question or comment, you can put it in the chat. And then if I ask you to unmute, then you can unmute and talk. But we have to just keep it going and keep it uniform. But I appreciate all the feedback that we just had with a few people that did unmute. So just a little housekeeping. And this is just so, let's reiterate what we went over so far, okay? So we went over the 1522. Kevin gave it a debrief update of what his journey has been thus far. K. Marie was talking about the ES and the Vs and how you can even put it on your 1522. If you sent it in September and you still don't see it on your transcript, guess what? You have copies of your stuff. You have the tracking number that you sent it in, and you can put it on your 1522. That's another way to go about getting down those ESMVs. I believe that's what she was saying. Kimmery, correct me if I'm wrong on that surmise that I just said. And then we just had Christine talking about how it took a year for her to do her CP 575, but it still works. She got $99 million of credit from her 1099A and CP 575. And her next step is learning how to draw it down. What form she's going to use. She hasn't decided that yet. So she's not sharing that with us as of yet. And that's okay. She's just letting you know her testimony is it works. It just takes time, just like with everything else. Now I'm going to ask the leadership, Kevin, Joshua, Brian, Kimmery, Christine, Robin, anybody else that has any kind of comments about what we've talked about already. Nothing new. Let's not introduce anything new quite yet of a topic. Is there any feedback or any kind of comment from the leadership team that want to kind of expound on anything that we've discussed thus far on the call? Stephen, here's an opportunity for the leadership to kind of give a little bit more. The floor is open.
Yeah, I would say, especially because there's lots of conversation in the chats. There's lots of different ways to approach each one of the various processes that have been talked about, right? And the way that they're is customized for each of our particular situations and our own levels of knowledge and comprehension. So when you're reading the chat, if someone is discussing a particular method by which they are pursuing, that doesn't mean the way that someone else is pursuing is wrong or inaccurate. Okay. And this has to go with how the laws are written, how we each comprehend them, and how we each approach fulfilling those requirements. And this goes to like the agents that are processing our documentation. When they send us these notices, these IRS notices, and they say, we need, for example, proof of payment. All right. They are asking you as an individual, what is your proof of this payment? Right. So give me the thing that you say is proof of this payment. Okay. It's not, I have to look through all my records for the thing that the IRS says is proof. It's, this is my proof. I sent you this mail via registered mail, express mail, signature return receipt. This is the tracking number for it. This is the documentation I say from the 1040 ES retained for your records, where I included these tracking numbers for these estimated payments. That's my proof of payment for me individually, right? So you have to think of it different, much like we think of the social all caps name is not me. Those are two abstract concepts. If I ask you for proof of payment, you tell me what your proof of payment is. Don't ask me, you are telling me. And this goes for all the other things. If they're asking for a particular form, they probably have an alternate form in its place if you don't have a particular one, like a W-2. There's an alternate for that if you didn't work. All right. So try not to be confused about the path someone else is taking, because they all lead to the same destination. How you get there and how long your journey is might be different. Could be shorter, could be longer. It all depends.
Well said. Thank you so much for that, Stephen, for your feedback and your input. I appreciate that. Anybody else? Any leadership? Jeremy, anything else you want to add? Kimmery, Robin, Brian, anybody else want to add any color to what we've been talking about?
I could say this. Stop focusing on just that. You have to focus on how to protect your house when you're building your house. Don't build your house on sand. You're gonna fall. Best thing I can say is, as well as you're learning how to recoup all these credits and draw them down, make sure you know how to protect all that stuff.
And what do you mean by give them a little bit idea on what you
Just for
mean?
clarification, Dr. Heather, that'll be some classes that will be given a little bit further down the line, because it's going to be some more advanced types of learning. I mean, this is graduate level shit that we're talking about.
Right.
And Brian and I and Kim Marie and other members of the leadership team are really trying to figure out what's going to be the best way to help people, bring people along. And it is going to be graduate level stuff. You're going to have to prove that you're able to understand what's going on in that type of level. So we're going to have to have a tiered system that we'll talk about in the leadership meeting who's going to be discerned that information or not, frankly.
Agreed. And this all takes time, guys. I want you guys to understand and be proud of what you've already accomplished. Just being here on these calls and in this group is not a small thing. You are taking the step forward for you guys to set yourself free and then your family members. So that's a big deal. You should be proud of yourself. And I'm proud of you guys for even showing up and being here. Now, when I'm going to do something that I typically don't do, because we have 201 winners, like Kevin just put in the chat. If you want to unmute your mic and you have a specific question, and you keep it to 30 seconds what your question is, and the team is here, I want you to ask your question, get on and get off, because we have 200 people here and we want to give people an opportunity. You have all of us here right now that are willing to support you and help you on your journey. We do not know your specific situation, so don't look for us to give you those specific answers as if we're just going to give you the golden ticket. Ask your question. Make sure you know what you're asking. Give it to us quick so we can understand, and then we'll try to help you. If you want to unmute your mic, you can do so now.
I have a question about the 1522 process.
Go ahead, Ms.
Thank you. So in doing the 1522s, I just want to make sure that I understand. I'm going to, that's going to be deposited into whatever account that I notate on the document and in my letter of instruction. So you still, if I'm doing my bills on the 1522, I need to make sure my bills are paid up to that point, correct? Because this is going to be deposited into an account, hopefully a card, if I figure that out.
If you've gotten a statement, Millie, it's a bond. Whether you paid it or not, it's a bond, it's a bond, it's a bond.
So are you concerned that are you asking, should you go ahead and pay your T-Mobile bill and put it on a 1522, or should you wait for the money to come from the 1522? Is that kind of like what your question?
That's exactly my question. Yes. Thank you for clarifying that for me.
It's okay. That's why I'm here. So that's a good question to the team.
A brief moment. Sorry, folks.
No, you're fine. So her question is, I have a T-Mobile bill. I'm going to put it on my 1522, but should I go ahead and pay that $100 right now, or should I just wait to get the money in 2 weeks so I don't get behind and my phone doesn't get cut off? What is the recommendation or advice I can get from the leadership team?
I would never let it get behind, and especially the 90-day mark. So you're not for sure going to get this deposit in 2 weeks. And so always stay up with it if you can. If you can't and you haven't been able to, then they get sent in as quickly as possible, and you go from there. But the main thing is, I worked with a lot with the W-4 process, and some people were getting behind.
Let me ask her a question back real quick.
Who's that? Go ahead.
Yeah. What was her name? Sorry, Millie.
Yes.
Millie, have you done a 1099B on your cell phone bill for 2024 yet?
I have not.
Okay.
This is a process that I'm working on now. I'm getting to the 1099s, but I want to continue to learn about the 1522. And I did ask yesterday, do I need to do the 1099 claim your credits process before I jump into the 1522?
No.
And I've gathered that is not the case.
No, not at all. Not at all. Here's what I'll say to you, just to give everybody a frame of reference. Where you're thinking from. We're finally an advocate for our blue card person. You have an interest in keeping your cell phone on. Now that you've just been shown that every excise tax of $1 or more is returnable back to you, and it's coming as a FIDE commissary, meaning any expenses that you spent to keep your phone on. Let's say you paid your cell phone bill for the last 12 months of 2024. If you've got a bond showing what you pay every month, there's no reason why you can't go back to January 1,
tally up all your out-of-pocket expenses for that cell phone bill and put the in total number on there. On the 1522. You bet. Yes, thank you.
There's no amount on the 1522. So she's talking about the actual coupon at the bottom of that bond. Where you
I
would put
understand.
right.
But it's the same premise, right? As if we were going to do a B, right? It's out-of-pocket expenses that she had a responsibility to keep the blue card person's phone on. So if she can show evidence of an obligation of the all caps United States bankrupt organization that's supposed to be prepaying all of our stuff, but we have the benefit of discovery right now, just found out, right? You may, because you have those coupons. Because remember, on there it shows, I think it even says, like on a credit card, it shows the what is it called? The date of its whatever for the year.
They got a that. I'm drawing a blank too, but I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Basically, there's nothing keeping us from letting them know that for a whole year you paid your cell phone. The reason I asked you if you've done a B yet is because anyone who's done a B on their cell phone can put on the 1522 on a separate line item the full 12 months evidenced in the B and 10 times the amount back on the next line on the 1522. Separate bond. Signature for funds excess. We're now the bank that gets to capitalize on our signature.
Love it.
Isn't that making sense? It is making sense, yes. Good. So keep paying because you have a duty to keep your blue card person in communication, but know that it's all coming back to you in kind, in a like kind exchange, which is one of the 37 1099s, by the way. Just saying, we have 37 choices of ledgering. And that's why I wanted to ask you, Millie, had you done the B yet? Because then there's a whole separate gaggle of numbers for you to utilize, right? But for now, just go ahead and put 12 months of payment, $90 a month times 12 on your 1522. All you're doing is letting them know, here's my out-of-pocket expenses. All they need is your authorization and proof that you paid it or you're in some kind of a servicing contract. So now any of you that are paying a rent, any of you that are paying a mortgage payment.
Okay, Marie.
Sorry, this is just any out-of-pocket expense, rent, mortgage, life insurance, car insurance.
Not so light. Oh no.
Can you hear me?
If you're unmuted, I need you to mute.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be. Damn, makeup girl, she used a certain kind.
Dr. Heather
She
is
used brunette, but
unmute.
that look light as
You're
hell.
talking. We can hear you. Who's talking? I need to mute your mic.
Millie.
Is it a
Yes.
the 1522?
1 second. I can't find who I need to mute. If anybody let me know.
No, it's something else, huh?
Scotty.
No, she fixed it.
No, I'm still here.
Everybody just needs to mute. We heard Kim Marie fine.
So much.
Is there simply for the 1522?
On me.
Who is it?
Then I'm not gonna get these.
Millie's mic is open. Millie, turn your mic off.
Okay, thank you. Jesus.
It's been off for a minute.
I don't know who that was. It's like really okay. Anyway, let's carry on.
Summer.
Okay, I'm glad we got it fixed. Thank you.
Yep. So any out-of-pocket expenses rent, insurance for your car, life insurance for your family, health insurance for your family, medical bills you paid, unemployment. I mean, it's all out of pocket expenses. You have not received any of it back, not $1. And we have a duty to recoup it. That's what's reducing the public debt. The 35 trillion belongs back to each and every in equal measure. I understand. Thank you, Kim Marie.
Do you guys understand about the bonds? Because I saw in the chat, people are not clear about how 1099s, these 1099 forms are bonds. How are we claiming that? Like you just said on the 1522, you can claim your 1099B. What are they putting down to? They're giving a copy of the 1099B with the 1522 as their source document and saying this is what they're claiming.
Yes.
That's what's in the chat.
Yes.
And listen, for further, clarification on that, the 1099 forms are what I would call a red check, right? Which again is evidence of a debt for the United States to pay. Okay?
Yeah, agreed. Is everybody
Okay,
clear?
yes. So here's what an accountant or a bookkeeper, okay, or a compliance officer or a chief of staff or an advocate for your blue card person would do. Always making sure you add a unique identifying number of some sort on that document. You're creating a train. You're creating a train. See attached. When Kevin said that, that's all you have to say. That's a legal term. These are all bonded together and belong to one single owner. So if you need to, put your CAF number on the top of your 1099. You can also add a tracking number. You can add your green card tracking number to the top of that. You can add a certified mail receipt. If you don't have a CAF number yet, you get to create your own legible event. Why? What if Kevin had to go away for 6 months and he left his folders with me? Here's what I need recouped so my family ship doesn't sink while I'm away. My job would be to ledger everything, bookkeep everything, follow up on everything, and my job would be to create a unique identifying number. Likely, he would order an extra stamp for me, and I just simply, like a bank does, stamp everything that I'm turning into the Treasury as the bank. This is me, nominee. Make sense?
Yes, makes sense. And let's clarify about this 1099B because Minister Dixon, I see you just put in the chat that we can't claim to 10 times on a 1099B. That is incorrect. Yes, you can. You can claim to, and then you can do the 24% federal tax withheld on that 10 times that you just claimed. That amount. You can do that. So I'm kind of scrolling through a lot of the questions in the chat and the comments and stuff. So I apologize if it's not all in order. But yes, that is the point. You're doing a 1099B. I think what I've noticed in the chats are there's some, if we can clarify about the 1099B, just a quick clarification of how it works when you're doing a single B, a double B. I see a lot of that people are confused about how to manage and handle that. Is any one of the leadership team want to talk about that?
Yeah, let me give you the simple breakdown. Remember, KISS, keep it simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first B of anything is a notice. If you are late in the year and you want to only do 1B, make sure you put a withholding amount of a drawdown. That's a directive for the fiduciary. If you're planning on attaching a B, keep for your records, copy B for the blue card person, you're for sure going to put a withholding amount in there. If you do paper, you can withhold the entire amount. If you do electronic, you have a maximum of 24% you can draw down. So the first fee is just a notice. We're letting them know where we spent our cookies for the year. I paid T-Mobile $90 a month for 12 months. Who paid? The person who the account name is in. Who got it? Oh, T-Mobile, the one that's on my bill. 12 times the amount. How many payments did you make? 12. What's that total? That's what goes in the proceeds box. Who proceeded with a contribution to the public marketplace called T-Mobile? You did.
That's awesome.
So to be or not to be, both and more. You can do a B, which sets the basis up for, I'm going to go ahead and do a miscellaneous too and draw down the rest of my 10 times the amount of my mortgage. And I'll do an NEC2, and then I'll do a 1099R, and then I'll do a 1099G. What did you just do? You just created 6 line items on your 1522.
Time, just to kind of have a conversation, every time you do a 1099 whatever letter, that is a line item you can put on the B. I mean, on the 1522. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yep. If there's a number amount, yes, you can. Watch this. If there isn't a number amount on something, remember the old FDIC, $250,000 a quarter. If Kevin spent a year, which he did, working on his little erroneous court case and charges, well, he's got a year's worth of receipts that he gets to add on top of his case that's going on the 1522. His bank account for 2024 that's going on the 1522. He gets to also add FDIC from the ESs. What if he did it on a 1099A? Perfect. Use a 1099A. Put the ESs on a 1099A. Do a B, do a G, do a long-term, they even have an L, long-term care, LTC. Hello, for all your annuities. You could do a 1099 LTC for $1 million in that proceeds box. That's what they made on you, your little blue card person. Draw down 24% of $1 million on the LTC. This is why
to the 1099B because that is an auditing form.
Say it again, Kevin, so we can hear it. Say it again.
I'm leaning towards the 1099B because that is an auditing form that creates an audit.
Why do you say that? Say more.
It's the nature of the form.
Yeah, you're bartering your consideration back.
You're bartering your signature / autograph for access to your own credit, but you don't know their side of the ledger. So that form automatically is an audit because the IRS needs to know what the other company or whatever took. So it's automatically an audit.
And you're putting your amount in proceeds. Are you putting an amount in bartering as well on the B? I know other people had questions about that bartering part. Go ahead.
Times 10. Times 10.
Even on the bartering line at the bottom of the form, that's where you're going to put times 10, is correct?
Correct.
As well as the proceeds?
The proceeds will be the original amount, and then you'll 10 times that original amount, and that'll be your barter amount.
Okay. I hope that's clarifying, because I saw some people posting that in
You'll get the numbers back on a 1096. It'll reflect all that on a 1096. You can take that and file it with your 1040. On your 1041, if you got your trust set up, and it'll come back. It usually comes back in a check form because that's your 1040. That's your tax filing for the year.
Mm-hmm.
So all your 1096s, all that information, you want to file that with your 1040 so you get it back on your yearly tax return.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't brought anything down throughout the year, you just put that on your tax return, file it federal withheld, and then it'll come back in a check.
Awesome. I hope that brings clarity to some people that had questions about that. How to do the 1099 B is in boy form, because people were just not clear about how to do that and was feeling a little bit they needed more clarity on that. So I appreciate that. Anybody else?
I have a question. Hi there.
Hey.
Hey, how far can we go back with the 1522? That's one. And then all those other forms that were posted, there were like about 7 forms that were posted. Are those still necessary or no?
No,
We
I
can-
had in the live last week and also in the conversation in the chat as well. And I know it could be overwhelming. So here's a quick down and dirty. All you need is a 1522, your source document, whatever that is, a 1099B, T-Mobile bill, your bank statement, whatever the hell you're attaching to it. And you need to make sure you go to the bank, get it notarized or medallion stamp, either one. It doesn't have, if you can't get the medallion, just get a notary. It's fine. You don't need all those other things. You don't need a trust open. You don't need any other IRS or Treasury form to be filed. You don't need a CAF number in order to do this 1522 process. That's why it's the most simplest and the most easiest thing to try to get you going on your path to freedom.
Wonderful. And then how far can we go back?
You can go back as far as you want, but what I recommend, this is my recommendation as Dr. Heather, focus on the last 2 to 3 years, and then once you start seeing the rewards, redemption of that, then you can go back and do that other stuff. Don't overwhelm yourself and worry about the stuff from 5, 10, 20 years ago. You can go back, but I'm saying focus on what's right in front of you and your immediate need to alleviate some of your needs and get that done first.
Okay. Yeah, if I can go back to 2022, I'm golden. So that's
Yeah.
fine.
Dr. Heather. All the way to the age of your birth. It doesn't, the year of your birth. It doesn't, you can go back as long as there's stuff, right? But I wouldn't recommend overwhelming yourself and thinking about the past in that way. I want you to focus on the most immediate thing and focus on that. Who just shared their stuff? You're sharing your screen. Whatever you're doing, stop, please.
Yeah, learn
So
about how to exist in the moment with all this information. Learn how to be in the moment, and then once you figure that out and you get a good path forward, you learn how to recycle your credits. You learn the recoupment aspects of it. You learn how to report your taxes. Then once you got that fundamental understanding down, then you'll go back into history and you'll start recouping what was left behind.
I have a question.
Hello, I have a question.
Hold on, wait 1 second at a time. Hold on 1 second.
Hello.
Question.
It was myself, Chiquita.
Okay, go ahead, baby.
Is anybody familiar with California? I was told that the banks here no longer give notaries unless it's their actual banking docs. I know I called Navy Federal one time. I needed a notarized document, and the customer service told me that it was just the law rules for California, but other states do notaries. So any suggestions on needing that notary for the 1522 if the bank won't give it to you?
Have you gone up there?
Services do notaries.
What, honey?
Postal services do notaries.
Okay, I just didn't know if it had to be a bank. Just piggybacking off what Dr. Heather just mentioned.
Hint, hint,
Just a
wink,
state
wink, nudge,
authorized.
nudge. The post is a bank.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you so much.
I didn't know they did notaries. That's awesome to know. Okay, carry on. I didn't know that.
May I
Yeah, I get mine
respond to that?
notarized at a postal service here, the private
Okay.
postal service. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Heather, may I respond to that poor woman?
Yeah, go ahead, Lorraine.
Sweetheart, they're telling you a lie that your bank just doesn't want to do that for you. I do all kinds of notary at my bank of Wells Fargo. That is an outlier, and I live in California.
Oh, okay, great. What area are you in?
I'm in Northern California.
Y'all can do that separately. Y'all can go jump in each other's DMs and do that. So
Okay.
anytime someone tells you something on the phone and you're able to go to a local branch or to that particular company, go there for yourself and just try.
Okay.
That's my
And that was Lorraine, correct? That said that?
Loreen, Loreen is the first name I saw come up on the screen. Yes.
Thank you so much. I'll send you a message. Thank you, Dr. Heather.
No problem, baby.
Okay, Dr. Heather.
You said that they're credit union. Who said that?
Well, I just said my credit union in California notarized 1922.
Okay, so she just got that information from whoever answered the phone. Go and find somebody. Go to the bank. Go to your credit union. Go to your bank and have them notarize, honey. What you can pick. There's somebody in California that will help you, honey. Okay. Thank you guys for giving her advice and helping her with that.
I specifically asked TD the other day if it had to be a notary from the bank. They said it did not have to be.
When you talk to the Treasury retail?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just a state certified notary. So anybody that's got those credentials can notarize your documents. That can be me, you, anybody can get those credentials. So getting a notary shouldn't be an issue because there's lots of different notaries. So
Yeah, they recommend
private.
I'm a notary in Georgia, so I can notarize anything in any state. So if you're in Georgia,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that if you're in Georgia, if you need me to notarize something for you, I can do that.
What about
if a notary refuses service, ask for their bonding company because they have to post a bond. They have to offer services. They can't refuse services, and you can make a claim against their bond.
Well, there you go. Thank you.
Hello, Dr. Heather.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, this is Shay Jones from Houston, Texas. How are you?
Hey, Shay from Houston, Texas. What's up, girl?
Hey, I'm a little sick, so please just forgive me.
Oh, you good?
I want on behalf of myself and maybe others, I have several disabilities, and this information is super overwhelming for me.
Okay.
And I know Kim Marie spoke about her niece or some family member with a disability. Any advice for me?
In regards to what, honey?
This whole entire process, like the 1522.
Okay, so like I'm gonna do what I did earlier on the other call. What is your immediate need? What is the thing that you need immediately to be handled?
Like recouping my money that I paid.
Wait a minute. I was trying to mute somebody else because their background noise. 1 second, honey. Hold on. Mute. Okay. Shay, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you go. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
My immediate need is recouping the money I have paid out like for 12 months, like my car insurance, my life insurance, my T-Mobile bill, because I do have T-Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
And like those are my immediate.
So do you understand the 1522 process?
I do kind of, but I can go back and re-listen to the videos. And I did have a young lady here in Houston that's a part of the Recoupers group that did break it down for me.
Okay, great. Because what I was going to say to you, if there's anybody in the group that we all learn differently, like I told people before, I'm ADHD, I'm a touch autistic, I process information differently, I'm neurodivergent. So find one of your sisters or brothers in the group that's locally to you and sit down and go over it line by line until you get it.
Okay.
Get a support group. Because we can say things to you right now that you may not comprehend, but I don't want you to be in anxiety about it, honey. I want you to actually to slow down so you can break it down, so you can digest it and then comprehend it and then execute. It takes time. So go ahead. We're going to say.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm ADHD as well. So
Girl,
I learn differently.
Right. So I know your struggle. I know how it is. So what I would suggest is find somebody local. If you need that one-on-one is what I'm saying, in person to sit down. If it's better for you to have that conversation to absorb and grasp the information, then I would suggest finding someone you can partner with in the group. I'll make a topic talking about where you live at, so we can see where people can join and connect up or something, so you guys can have
awesome.
or something. So maybe I'll make a topic folder just for that so people can know what state you're in or what city you're in, and you guys can form your own smaller groups. We encourage you to do that. We have 3,900 members here. We encourage you to have your other learning groups. It doesn't have to be all here. And so there's also another group called Newbies K Marista. We were on that live we had a live open mic on Thursday, and I think they do it every Thursday. So I recommend people go over to that smaller group as well and get people, and you can find the people in your community to help you kind of absorb this information so you guys can execute together. One of the things about having ADHD, I will be really clear and honest with you about. Sometimes it's better for me to have someone that's sitting in the room with me. It's called body doubling, and it helps me focus, and I can just do work. So sometimes I go sit in a lobby somewhere, or I will with my headphones on, or I'll just have my daughter or somebody that I know sitting around and just working in an environment where I can just get stuff done. Because sometimes you can go down the rabbit hole of just not doing anything, or you're overwhelmed because you are neurodivergent in the way you process information. So find out what works best for you and see how you can get it. But you got this, sis. I'm telling you, you got this. You didn't
Thank you,
by
doctor.
mistake or by happenstance. Like, this is not coincidence. This is alignment. And we're here to love you and support you through your journey. And if you just take your time, be patient with yourself, give yourself some grace, you'll get it. I'm telling you.
Dr. Heather?
Thank you, Dr. Heather.
You're welcome. Chris, what's up?
No, I want to thank you so much for that because I've been trying to do a process here myself, and I do have like certain things are hard for me to get. And thank you for being compassionate. Like somebody was helping me a little bit over the weekend. They were getting so frustrated, and as a Scorpio, I could feel all that. Like I
Yeah.
could feel just the little words, and so thank you for having compassion. And I put out in the 1040 chat. I know it's a simple thing, and I'm almost got it all the way through. But if there's anybody out there like doing a group like that, I don't mind to get involved. I yield.
Question about the 1040. Let's see if we can answer it for you real quick. What's the question, honey?
On the 10, I don't have the paperwork in front of me right now.
Okay. It's okay. We're here to be okay. So this is what I want people to understand about Recoupers and what this is. What this is. We are a family coming together from different parts of life, walks of life. We are here to support and love one another. If you receive me, for example, as someone that's maybe be too aggressive or too direct or too whatever you may be feeling, I have no malice or no nothing towards anybody. I'm here to my job and my energy is always to bring leadership and correction and to bring things in order. That's how I'm built. It's unapologetic for me. I literally am coming from the space of love, and I want everybody to win. So what I would say for someone like you or anybody else, including me, because I had to learn this, don't let your feelings or your insecurities be the forefront or stop you from going after what you believe and what you deserve and what belongs to you. I want you to know that let me get on camera. Hold on. I want you to know that what you are doing is an amazing thing, and it's not a light work. And I'm proud of everybody that's on this call, everybody that's in the group that's going after what belongs to them. And don't be so hard on yourself. You're going to get it. Everybody learns at a different pace at a different time. It's okay. But what I do get frustrated with in the group is where people are always saying the same thing over and over again, and things because you're not taking the time to actually go in and digest and read the questions and the comments and things like that. You're just asking the questions because it's just on top of mind. Because what you're doing is you're causing a traffic jam. And so there's more. And so when you're like, who wants to sit in the car with all these extra cars when it could have been avoided, So just be mindful and be patient and find your tribe, your smaller tribe, because they're out here. There's no way there's 3,900 people in this group. There isn't somebody in your city. I'll be very surprised, or someone close. And you don't have to meet in person. You could do it on video. You could do it on Zoom. You could do it on a FaceTime. You could do it on a Telegram separate group. I would be surprised. There is not somebody you can find in close proximity of you that will love on you and give you the patience that you need, because people have done it for me. As fast as I talk, as much as you guys feel like I may be super knowledgeable, I need support and help too. I'm telling you. And it took time. Go ahead.
I want to say too, like sometimes too, people. I know everybody's busy and nobody owes anybody anything, But that's also another thing. Like when people say they're gonna do something, like I've reached out, and some people are like they're gonna call, and like they don't call, and I get it. Everybody's got but we got to be men in words, people of our word. But I have one thing here on 1040 ES. Now this is a simple thing. In the front, it says the calendar year. Right above where we're doing the quarterly year, like the
Yep.
62.5. Well, it says due April 15th, 2024. So on the
Yes.
other side, I'm assuming somebody told me that you put January 16th for all of them, and I did that, but I'm looking at it again, and that date is what we're supposed to put in the payment for. If
Wait,
it
I was
says,
an endorsement on the back of the ES.
yeah, yeah, there's like 4 of them that you do there for each
Yeah, I
quarter.
understand. So this is
Okay,
why.
so
And then K Marie can jump in, and I'll tell you what I did. I just did the front thing, did what I needed to do. I actually wrote on the front of mine, endorsed on the back. I put a little note and I highlighted it. Flipped it over on the back. I put pay to the order of the U.S. Treasury. I put my amount. I wrote the
yes,
amount out in words. Then I did my social security
for
number, whatever
credit.
entity I was doing. I didn't put the date there at all till the bottom part of it. So then I said, this is for 1040 ES payment number, let's say number 1 for April 15th, 2024. And then I
Okay, I
signed
got that. Oh, okay, so I didn't put
whatever
April.
I put on the back.
Yeah, that's what I got on the back. What I got on the back, what you just said, pay to the U.S. Treasury the 62.5. I written out the 62.5 for credit to my person, the the SS. Then to the year 2023, Form 240 ES, payment
Mhm.
for April 15th, 2024. So I did the same number that's above on the front, due April 15th,
Yeah, you good.
2024. Okay, so the other ones, they have different dates. That's the thing I messed up because I put the same date on all of them. So I'm doing it over. I'm doing it over again to put all right. So I just wanted to make sure because the other ones say 2025, and that was a little confusing for me.
That's fine. I think it's like January 15th or 18th, whatever it says 20, because that's for the last one for 2020, 2024. The ES is what you're talking about. That's the
Yeah,
last. That's payment number 4, voucher coupon number 4.
Okay, so I just want to ask this now. Since I know I did the other one, I sent it in already. That money to send it in was a pain. But anyway, I sent it in, and I know that I did the dates wrong. I'm doing another one totally different and sending it in the right way. Would you do it that
No,
way?
Marie is available to answer that. I don't know what I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
Kim Marie, are you able to unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your thoughts on that?
Give me the question one more time.
That he did in ES, and he had the 4 pieces, the four coupons. He put the date, let's say for on the all 4 coupons, he put the date April 15th on the back for each one of those when he endorsed it, instead of putting the dates that was on each one of the coupons per quarter.
Fine. That's fine. They're just gonna put the date of the payment of the issue of the bond or the credit will be on their record showing April, the date that he put on there. So that's fine.
So he doesn't need to redo all the coupons.
No.
Okay. I also put inside if there's any mistakes, feel free to correct them. I also put a little card there and a little Christmas card.
You're good to go. You don't have any extra work to do, and that's a suggestion. You don't have any extra work to do.
All right,
regarding
man.
that.
I'm so happy to hear that because I've been not able to work for a while. I'm like indigent right now, and I'm a construction worker. My back, I just got out of surgery, and I am like the government is taking advantage of me. They want me to sign this, want me to sign that, but I yield.
Listen, how we got 35 trillion in debt, y'all. We never held these companies accountable for where our cookies were going all year long. The only mistake we've ever made is not filing a 1099 miscellaneous of 600 or more of who we paid annually. Now, the doctrine of necessity, because we were withheld, we were gate kept from, because people don't want to read, because they wanted us dependent on the system, we realized, OMG, all we ever had to do was report to the Treasury on our landlord, on our bank, on our AT&T. All of that holds them accountable, would have got them audited a long time ago, and we probably would have been getting dividends since 2020, 2021, and 2022, but we just didn't know. We didn't have an incentive to file a 1099 miscellaneous. They didn't give us the memo. Listen, you can get back all your withholding. You can get back any amount that you report to us. It's all fide promissory. Like Patrick Devine used to try to bang into our heads. Any dollar you spend in commerce is recoupable dollar for dollar back to the original issuer of the 4 quarters. It's called a proceed. It's called a transaction in trust. So, but we now know. And now the gates are open. And now we have way too many choices. And so people are getting they're complicating it a little bit. So keep it simple. Start from this year and go forward with the new knowledge and be free.
God bless. Hallelujah.
Dr. Heather,
Yes.
my name is Brave. Nice to meet everyone. I have a question
Brave,
about I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
Come on, Atlanta.
Okay, I have a question. I'm trying to purchase a home, and I have my original that I ordered, the 1099A, the 1099 OID, and the 96. I know how to fill them out. I'm just a little knowledge on how to proceed them to the IRS.
So you're using those forms to purchase a house?
Yes, I just need to know, are they the right ones to purchase a home with?
So okay, I don't know what process you're using or where you got that from, so I can't really just give you step by step. You got like, is your question about how to fill out the forms? Is your question that will that work to purchase a house?
Yeah, I was told that you can use a 1099A and OID and 96 to purchase a home from the Treasury, from your pull it from your Treasury account.
I think that's
Were you given the whole entire process?
Go ahead.
Were you given the whole entire process?
No, I was not.
Then I'm sorry, but if you weren't given the process, why the hell would you try to do something with it?
I didn't pursue it. I'm just asking about it.
Well, what I would do is go ahead and sign everything like a normal documentation, like you're going to purchase the house through your mortgage company, your death pledge company, or whatever, and then take the copy of that promissory note, as it's a bond, and send it on a 1522. I don't know, food for thought. Food for thought.
Do you have a contract with the house already?
Yes, I do. I looked at one.
Did you get a purchase? Did you have a buyer's agreement where you agreed to buy a property and put a bid on a house? Did you do that already?
That's evidence of a debt.
Well, the agent haven't got back with me yet, but I did go and view it. That's as far as I got.
Okay, so you don't have a signed contract anywhere yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. I mean, it's a valid question, but I think the process has not been. I don't think anybody in this group so far has the complete answer to that question. So let me just kind of give it to you that way.
Okay.
You need something that's an evidence of a debt. If you have a signed contract to close on the house with an amount, my goodness, that sure seems like a note, a savings note that maybe one could go ahead and I'm just spitballing here, but if you put that on a 1522 and send it to the Treasury, they might just go ahead and put those funds in your account and you just pay cash for it. I mean, that'd be the greatest theory. It'd be awesome if you could.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, it's trial and error. I'm a person that I have a passion for real estate and purchasing and acquiring properties and stuff like that. So I'm working on that as well in my own journey. So I don't have an answer for you about how was the best way forward because I'm still working on figuring that out myself. So I was wondering when you said that, did someone give you a process that you were already working on and you just needed information on how to fill out the 1099, more guidance or support on how to do that. But I would not do something that without you having full understanding from A to Z of how it works and what they have done in order to acquire a property, in my opinion, because that's why I haven't done. Because I have heard about the OID 1096 and A and all that, but okay, but what else? Like, there's got to be something you have to. Where do we send it at the Treasury? Like, what there's too many open-ended questions that have not been answered.
Exactly. Thank you.
And we do have a topic folder called real estate in the group. So I haven't gone in there to read to see if anybody has gave some more guidance and stuff on there. We also have a mortgage and foreclosure chat too. So go in there and see if you can find some nuggets that may help you or steer you in the right direction. And then we'll keep having this conversation because it is an important topic. Okay.
Okay. Got you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. No problem, sweetie.
I have a question.
Ms. Royalty, go ahead.
It sounds like this is my first time listening. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, but it sounds like you can submit as many 1522s as you need. Am I correct?
Yes, and on 1522 you have 30 lines to do it. 30 lines to put in 30 different bonds.
So
yes.
Therefore, let's say I had sent it off and forgot something. Can I do another one?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yes, ma'am. You sure can.
Well, it's been very helpful because I already filled out my 1099 ES and Vs back to 2021. And I'm about to mail them in. And then I hadn't done my taxes. Then I'm going to do my taxes and put the appropriate amount on my taxes, so all of it will gel together when it's time.
Yep, sounds good. Sounds really good.
And you are right about when you have a process you have to do. You have to pray about it and know what you're doing, and don't be in such a hurry because I do taxes. So when I heard about the forms, I already knew about forms, but I'm getting forms when I'm doing taxes for other people. So I'm saying, what? So I listened for 2 months on this process because I wanted to be sure that I knew what I was doing in the process. You have to slow down, take it in, ask questions, and don't be in such a hurry. Know what you're doing and know what you're doing it for. So I appreciate today's topic because now I'm going to go after this 1522.
I appreciate it. And there's topic folders in the group for you to get more study, more information on, and just listen to some of the audios while you're at work or washing clothes or something like that, and that'll help kind of digest what we've been all talking about on this call today in the last couple of days. Okay.
That's great because I'm going to need that too. I appreciate you so much.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Okay. Thank you, Royalty. We're gonna wrap this up. And is there any other last minute questions, comments, things like that?
I have a question.
Who said that? Miss Denise? Denise or Scooter? Which one?
Scooter.
Hey, Scooter, go ahead.
Okay, so Kevin mentioned that we can potentially send in the note, and I had asked this the last live, and we weren't sure how to do that as far as endorsing, because we certainly don't want to resend in.
You don't have to endorse anything with the 1522 form. You're notarizing the document in front of a bank representative, which on the form says you either need it notarized or a bank representative. You do not need to endorse anything. The notary does it.
A note. You don't have to endorse a note. So they can't.
No, because you're just sending them a copy. You're just giving them a copy of it.
Okay, cool. So I have a few of those. Thank you.
Cash them in.
Yeah. Well, I want to know how you do on a court case.
Since my court cases corresponded with I-series bonds, I think I know the serial number. I know the initiation date was the date that they attacked me. So that's what I'm doing. I'm putting it in, and we'll see. I'll let you know.
Okay, you doing the 15, the thing she said?
Yep, 1522.
Okay, all right.
And then you need to go.
I'm sorry I'm short with everybody, but I am losing my patience with some really people read. Go back when this is rendered. Go back and listen. Listen to the 1522 from last weekend. Read and listen, people. I'm really getting short tempered with some what I consider
It's
are
posted over on YouTube.
very basic questions.
Okay. You guys, 15, wait a minute. Who's unmuted? One second. Okay. I think we're okay now. So a lot of this stuff is answered inside of the chat. So today's live, we've come together to kind of answer to give a little update, to give some more feedback about, the different topics that we talked about today. And we do appreciate you guys showing up and coming in and asking your questions. But we are going to reiterate that you do your own due diligence and your own research and your own study, because a lot of these questions have already been answered in the previous videos and lives. We're doing these lives for the benefit of you guys. We don't have to come here and do them because we don't have all the answers, but we're doing our own study in the background. So we're just asking you to do the same. That's it. And so, Kevin, I understand that you're feeling frustrated right now, and I feel you on that. And I just want you guys to realize that we're here to love on you and to support you, but we're not here to hold your hand. You're not going to get a step-by-step guide from me. I'm not writing shit. You won't have to do
my daily, as you can see from my picture, is a daily struggle to keep the Viking stuff down, way down inside, so he doesn't come out and play. Okay.
I know, and I'm Jamaican, so I'm feisty, so I get it. So do your due diligence, do what you're supposed to do. We're here to help and love on you, but I need you guys to go and listen to these videos and start and looking in the chats for your answers, because they are there. I'm telling you, I will commit to creating a new topic to find out where are you, so you can get a buddy system, someone locally within your state, or someone that you can do a Zoom call with, a FaceTime, whatever, to help you get more understanding and comprehension to help you with that. But in this group as administrators, we are not going to write a step-by-step. I've seen that multiple times come up. Do not ask. It's not going to happen. I'm not doing it.
Thank you, Dr. Heather.
You're welcome. I'm not going to do that shit. We are not in preschool. And I understand that we all learn differently. I already just completely transparent with you guys. I have my own learning disabilities, but I have to go because I want it so bad. I'm going to figure it out the best way for me to get it. So you got to be a dog about it. You got to be a lion about it. You got to be aggressive about it for yourself. You're fighting for yourself. And you're the magic in your life. And it's all going to work out. I promise you it's all going to work out. Just trust yourself. So
I got a quick question.
Yeah, who's this? Brandon? What's up?
Okay.
Who's talking?
Yeah, don't forget the truth. Okay, so last week I was listening to Kevin, and he was talking about the 1522 with the receipts that we do, like say we're at Walmart or whatever. I don't want to make anybody frustrated, but is that what you
said
use?
that once? I never said that once. Not once did I ever say that. I'll say it again. Not once was that said on that recording. You may want to go back and listen to it.
You misunderstood. So okay. So what's your question about the Walmart stuff? So I wouldn't worry about the everyday Walmart bills, Walgreens, things like that. You may have used your debit card. You may have used your credit card. Use those things, avenues, to recoup it that way. Don't worry about the gas station receipt and stuff like that. I want you to use the bills that you actually get a bond and a coupon for every single month. Let's focus on that, okay?
Gotcha. 10-4. All right, thanks.
Okay. You're welcome. Who was?
I actually wanted to ask something, right? So, it's not nothing with like help in the process, but I'm just like, I understand that a lot of people don't understand stuff, and that's why they're here right now to ask these questions. You know what I'm saying? And just like anybody that got actually anything done, you had to hear it repeatedly. You understand? We got to try to be a little bit more patient and breathe a little bit, because there's people that aren't getting nothing done, like ever since, being over here, like, it's cool that people are actually wanting something for themselves, but who is actually executing? So the same way these guys are trying to hear something, I feel like, we should try to be a little more patient and work along with each other so people can really actually grasp for something and help their families out.
So
That's all I wanted to say.
1 second. Let me respond. I hear you and I understand why you said that. But here's the thing. We're all here on this individual journey. And we're all here trying to figure it out and study for ourselves. We are being patient. Again, this is all volunteer, okay? And we're all learning on our own pace and our own time. But as administrators and leadership of this group, you guys do not see or pay attention to all of the redundant, repetitive questions. So some of the leadership may get frustrated because the answers are in the group. And if you need to hear it more than once, that's why we do these recordings for you to go back and listen to what we say. That's why it's recorded. And so that's what I think people may be missing, that there are recordings, videos, files, documentation that you can go get it. If you're looking for definite or definitive proof, you're not going to get it from this group. You're not. You're going to get it over time. We have said that with the 1522 is brand new knowledge from the leadership. It's brand new knowledge. And we're sharing it because we know that it's something to help people get what they need at a faster rate versus using the ES and the V that may take a little time. That's why it was brought forth. So don't sit in a spirit of offense or defense because the leadership is getting frustrated because they are taking their time to repeat these things, to do these recordings, to do these lives, to answer DMs, to answer comments. I'm telling you, give us some grace. The same grace you guys are asking for, I need you to give. You're talking about 10 people, less than 10 people to manage 3,900 people. Like, put that into perspective. We have a job, we have families, and we have children. We have responsibilities. So give us the same grace you guys are asking for.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for taking the lead. Thank you guys for taking the lead and being patient with us.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Who was that, Jane?
Yep. I just
Go ahead,
want to
honey.
support you in this. And the point is for all of you, many of us like Kevin, Kimmery, and Dr. Heather, we've been at this for not months. We've been at this for years. And we have been testing. That's what Christina was telling you earlier. She did this process. This is only one of the many processes that she has attempted. And this is one that took a year later. She finally is getting a response. None of this is overnight. You are not going to, it's not like going to the bank, getting them to hand you a check. That's not how it's working. You must slowly go back, start from the beginning. If you haven't heard Kimberly's 9-hour video, you need to go do it.
I'm sorry, Wake doesn't live here, sir.
Excuse me?
Wake doesn't live here, sir.
I don't know what you're saying, Aaron.
Yeah,
she was in the middle of talking. I need you to wait until she's done talking. Go ahead, Jane.
I'm just saying that everybody needs to understand the frustration that we have because we are really trying to help. I mean, we are trying to go back to the beginning. For many of us, this is years ago that we started this, and we're trying to make it simplified enough so that we're trying to streamline it for you. But you have to do your due diligence. Read, listen. If you haven't, for example, if you haven't done your ES&V and you haven't heard Kimmery's 9-hour video, well, I'm sorry, you need to go back and listen to all 9 hours and do it. Most of us have done it way more than once. And so you just, understand when we get frustrated, it's only because you keep asking the same questions. Scroll up on these topics. Read what somebody has already asked that question. Somebody's already answered that question. So that's all. That's the reason that Kevin gets so frustrated because he actually is one of the most patient.
I'm literally
one of the most patient guys.
I'm literally fighting the literal Viking inside. I'm a former athlete. I am a Hall of Fame football player at my alma mater. Okay. When the trigger gets flipped, it's game time, and sorry, but you're not going to win that situation. That's just the way it is. Okay. So my apologies. My apologies to everyone. But when that little hair trigger gets triggered, I, it's going to take me a bit to reel that back in. Okay. So, and just to let you all know, and this will be coming up, but huge success the night before last with somebody in one of our ancillary groups. Huge, large, very large success. Teaser.
This is what I want people to understand too. We're working in the background and then we're bringing it to you. We don't have to tell you shit. We can go and be in our private ancillary groups, as he just said, and not say nothing at all. So I just want you guys to know that we're all human. I'm human. Kevin's human. K. Marie's human. Jeremy's human. We all have life, but we love you and we want to be here and be here for you. So give us some grace. Stop all that bitching and the moaning in the groups. I'm telling you right now, that frustrates me. I'll stand here and say that.
I would much rather meet you in person and give you a giant hug and then sit down and maybe drink a beer. That's kind of me.
Yeah, and we'll get there. But right now, we're trying to get the foundation stuff done for y'all to help you guys get to the place you want to go to. We're just here trying to help you push the car that may have ran out of gas. And we're here to help you push it up the hill and get to where you want to go. So I hope you guys appreciate the effort that we're making to try to help this more digestible for you and for us too. So, and I know it's just some people get frustrated in all their other stuff. I get it. Find somebody in the group to help you give you the more of the emotional and moral support. But when you have a group this large, it's like a mother. She's mother of 20 kids. There's no way she can treat them all the same or love them the same. It's just not possible. And there's 3,900 of family members in here. Like, come on, y'all. Seriously.
Can I say something, Doctor, please?
Oh, hey, Pierre, go ahead.
I mean, people need to understand. I mean, first, I just want to say thank God for all of you guys, for the work that you are doing. Camry, you, and 903, Kevin, and Tom, everybody. And because you got some people don't understand, like when you go everywhere else, everybody complaining, everybody charging a lot of money to even share anything. So we get in those people every day, like you said, everybody have family, everybody have jobs. And if for me, if something like let's say 2 years right now, if I have to focus on something in 2 years, I know that I can retire. I can all my family can be good. So we go to a job every day, whatever the boss says, whatever to do this, whatever for the day. We're gonna do it. When it comes to freedom, seems like everybody. I understand that some people, whatever, it's not easy to comprehend. But if it's reading, because the thing is, they make it so easy right now. We can read it, we can watch, we can even, even at my job, every day I'm working, I'm always on those calls listening because I'm so hungry for the information. So we just have to sacrifice. Anything in life, there's a sacrifice that needs to be made. If you cannot sacrifice, whatever, to put the time in to do this thing, maybe you should be, whatever, in your 9 to 5, because they don't make those things easy. But right now, we find those wonderful, brilliant people every day put in everything they learn. They just say, here we go. And the silver's platter. There's no way for us to be coming in here, whatever, frustrating the same hand that's feeding us. That makes no sense. That's not right. Because those people, like they said, they could have just learned that thing and just guess what? And move away. That's why a lot of people from the past, they learn it. Guess what? They they close the door. They don't. Nobody have to know. They don't tell nobody. So it's because they love and they want us to be free. That's why they're sharing those things every day. Don't take it for granted. Whatever. Don't frustrate those people. Whatever. Because like Kevin
Thank
says,
you,
I don't
Pierre.
care how nice you are. After a while, even your own kids, you love them to death. After a while, guess what? You're gonna be in that corner. You're gonna get a spanking. I don't care what it is. And as the same thing as we adults, let's get together, people. Like they said, there's so many of us there. If you just read, because right now, Dr. Heather, whatever, did a wonderful job. Put everything before you go in there, you're confused. Right now, everything, whatever, categorized, whatever, put it in the right place. You want something about the IRS is right there. Everything is, come on, people. Let's get this thing together. We have I mean, yeah, wake up. Because right now, believe me, I'm so excited every time I'm on those calls, listening to something. Even Skim Mary, every time she might tell the story over and over, but every time she said it, there's something that you didn't hear before. And
Yeah.
this information, you have to listen to it over and over. When you're hungry for something, I can't sleep. I'm excited. And that's
Yes.
the same thing. See the, because at the end of the day, you have to see, the future. Okay, I'm doing this right now, baby. I'm doing this, kids, right now, because I know like 2 years from now, a year from now, there's going to be a change. Because right now
Yeah.
we're in front of a beautiful house, whatever. Every year we're doing that Christmas thing, whatever. My wife, selling stuff, whatever, like from different places, whatever. A bunch of people. And I'm in the house. I'm saying, Lord, 3 years I've been here. I said, you know what? I said to my wife last night, I said, what do you think about the house? I would like to get it. It's my dream, whatever. I want my family to have the that's what I'm gonna have to make the sacrifice. And that's what we have to do. If we have to read, we have to ask. I mean, all the question, all the answers, everything is there. Just put the time in, guys. Because like you say, you guys they keep asking the same question and that thing's already been answered, whatever. Like, it's nothing new. We've been doing this thing for like 6 something months with Cameron right now. And guys, let's do this together, I
Pierre,
appreciate, whatever,
and thank you for supporting us and encouraging the others to and acknowledging us. So we thank you for that. Thank you for sharing, and we appreciate you for that.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you. I'm out.
All
Thank
right.
you. Bye.
All right.
Yes.
All right, sweetie. Thank you so much. So
Dr.
we've been on
Heather, I
this
have
call for
Hey
hours. So
guys, we can't
wait,
all be
wait,
lazy. Dr.
wait.
Heather and Kevin and all, these people aren't our parents. They're not here to do our laundry. We're being lazy. Get up in the files, get up in the media. I mean, this group has it all. So, in all honesty, none of us should really even have any questions with everything that's here. But
I
that's
appreciate
just
it.
my point of view coming from a dyslexic idiot. So,
No, you're
just
good.
do due diligence and investigate a little bit before you do anything. That's all. Thank you. Have a great day. Love
Thank
and
you. Thank you
blessings.
for saying that. Love you back. There was one other person I was going to say something because we're about to end this live. Okay.
I have a very quick question for Kevin, actually. I just want to make sure that I heard something right in that you said that you turned your
You
estate
might get a
into
response you don't like.
well, you know what? I'm up for that.
Go ahead.
Whatever. um,
I've
I've
already
did
let
I
it go. It's just going to take me a while to dissipate the fucking adrenaline rush that I got.
I don't I don't think this will frustrate you too badly. I just want to make sure that I heard you correctly in saying that you turned your estate into a living estate.
I sure did. Sure did.
Okay, I'll go back and listen
And
for
that is a
exactly how you
process,
did that.
and that is a process that you can do through the IRS. It shows right in their IRM where you can do that. So,
Yes, and I'll
shoot, I forgot something, guys. I want to quickly. God, I'm sorry about this, but I just need to share something real quick. Oh, shoot, darn it. Let's go here. Yes, bam, bam. Share screen. Sorry, but this is a gold nugget that I almost forgot. Thank you for reminding me. This is an interesting little form here. SSA L996. This comes from our good buddy Running Bear. I'll give him the credit. Social Security number record request for extract or photocopy. That's interesting. Print or type all data, sign in ink. Allow 4 to 6 weeks for a reply. I hereby request an extract or photocopy of my application for a Social Security number. To establish my identity and to verify my Social Security number, I am furnishing my full identifying information as follows. Okay. Full names used. Got it. Name shown on the Social Security card. By the way, that's the all caps name, folks. At least it is in my case. Full name at birth. Date of birth. Now, I'm going to put 2 dates here to discern some things. I'm going to put born date, which is the day I was born, and the date of birth for the entity known as the all caps name, which was 2 days later in my case. Place of birth, I am a male. There are only two genders. Look, it's proven right here in the form, folks. Full maiden name of mother, living or deceased. Same with father. Now, this is interesting. Here's your penalty, by the way, if they send you a fine. We know what that is, folks. This is a typo here. I think it was funny in the in the form. I think it should be $50,000, but then you actually get a wonderful. Who's sharing screen?
Dr. Pamela Howard, I need you to stop sharing your screen. I need you to stop sharing. Thank you.
I'm not seeing the form that he says that he's showing. Is it up there?
I'm not seeing the share screen either.
It's right here.
Yes, we see it.
I don't see it.
Is it okay?
It's blurry.
No, nobody can see it. Blurry.
No, see it, Kevin.
No, it'll come across in the recording, people.
I'll read the top. Social Security number, request for extract or photocopy, SSA L996, okay? That's what the form is. Pull it up while he's talking.
It'll be dropped in the comments, people. Just have patience, please.
Yeah, just listen to what he's saying.
This interesting little tidbit here. A printed signature or a signature by Mark X must be witnessed by two adults, which is an unsworn declaration for those of you who, these are things you need to know about. Unsworn declaration. Mail to DEBS Enumeration Unit, Baltimore, Maryland. So what this is telling me is I should be able to get an extract from the original application for credit via the Social Security number. Should have my mother's ink signature on it, should it not? Well, the original application is an application for credit. It's just another piece of good info to have, to claim for your estate, your living estate. This is graduate level stuff here, folks. But it's important. It's important. So, and that's it. We don't need any more questions, period. Let's end this thing and get on with our day. Thank you.
There is a discussion called the SSA topic folder in the group. You can go there with your questions regarding that. And when anybody on the leadership has time, they will go in there and answer more of those if you have anything that you have not already researched in that tab. But there is an SSA one in there. All right, guys. I thank you. We're winding down. I am tired. My brain is tired. I need to take a break. I've been on live with you guys most of the day, and I appreciate you guys spending time with the leadership team, and I'm really, really grateful. But here's the exciting news. Are y'all ready? Every Saturday now, we're going to be doing the live calls. We are committed to coming on here every Saturday at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, to be here to support you, to love on you, and to bring you some more nuggets every week. Okay? But before that week comes, before next Saturday comes, do your due diligence. And I can see who's been asking the same questions over and over again. I'm going to get on top of you. If you do not do due diligence and you're here just asking questions that have already been answered. I pay attention to everything. So I'm asking you guys to do us a favor, be kind, be loving, and share with your fellow members and your leadership, and send up lots of love and prayers to us, because this is not a light work or easy work, but a necessary work. And we're grateful to be here with you guys. Okay.
And I promise to try to be on my best behavior.
You're okay. You're good. I promise you.
Hey, Kevin. Kevin, I read a lot of those comments.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I didn't like what I was reading. Seems like there's a lot of entitled people in here. And
Yep.
people expect somebody to just give them, teach them, take their time, and donate their energy.
Yeah.
A lot of these
It's
people need to
usury,
keep in
folks. It's
mind.
usury.
It is.
Some of us, yeah. Let's know what usury is and not equity. Because nobody owes you nothing. We still got to go out here and earn our paychecks until we get through with this stuff.
Facts.
Yeah. Facts. Brian, thank you for our leadership team. So he's telling you exactly how we feel as a leadership team. So thank you for sharing that and for co-signing.
Let me make a
You
note.
are your brother's keeper.
Yeah. What's available in this group isn't available in any other group. All right. We put this together. Folks seen it. They come to it. But what's available is it's like a collection of all the groups out there that are hitting these specific processes, all the gurus that are selling information and selling services. You can find all that information right here with Recoupers. And now that we've got Dr. Heather with us, and she has done a phenomenal job organizing and making it even easier for y'all. So not only do we have a one-stop shop, we also have a community that's active. All right. And they're passionate about this. This is their life. All right. Not only are they going to enrich their own, they're going to enrich everyone that's associated because they're going to share that information. They're going to share their failures and successes. So just be mindful. We're all in this. We don't get paid. We're doing this because we're servants and we're your servants. All right. And we
Maybe
chose
some
to be
people
this.
should read the maximum law number 1. When you
There you
read the
go.
maximum law number 1, it says a workman is worthy of his hire. And you shouldn't want to just take people's stuff and think that it's okay. But
And to
I'll
put
land on that.
emphasis on Jeremy, what he speaks of there, I'm in a lot of groups. You may gather that. There is no group more active than this one. I will tell you that, folks. So good on you. Keep it up.
And understand this is a mission.
Quick comment, Dr. Heather.
All the people on here that from whom you listened, who are the quote the administrators here or the top group, this is a mission. And this is, why we're here to try to help as much as possible while we're learning too.
Thank you. Jane is part of our leadership team. What I'm probably going to do is put in the announcement page who our leadership team is, so you know who it is. I'll probably make a little chart or something like that. But we just want to say we thank you, we love you, we appreciate you, and we'll be back next week. And if the Lord leads me, if the Spirit leads me, I will do a random live just for Q&A. But that's why I did it earlier this morning. But it's not going to be all the time. But we are committed to being here every Saturday at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. We've been out here for 2.5 hours right now, pouring into each other. And know that we as a leadership team are learning and gleaning as well. We're not just pouring out. You guys are also receiving. So send us lots of love and prayer. And we'll see you guys next week, okay?
And check in with 903 tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Right. Now that the Love and Light team has spoken, I will be reaping people if I feel like there's any sort of disrespect going on, and you'll be getting permabanned. So that's how we're going to roll here.
Yeah, we're going to start getting with it. Absolutely. All right, guys. Till next time. Have a great weekend. Talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.